So there's a reason why many of the top fittest athletes in the world do not eat the paleo diet, and it's important that we all understand why. Hey, I'm Nathan Crane.
I'm Derek Crane.
And we're the co-founders of Crane Factor, where we bring you programs, products, and inspiration on healthy living,
fitness training,
and creating an amazing life. And I heard somebody who overheard one of the games, CrossFit Games athlete dinners, where Dave Castro asked everyone and said, hey, raise your hand if you're on the paleo diet. And the fittest people in the world who made it to the CrossFit Games, guess how many of them raised their hand? None. That's right, not a single one of them raised their hand. Now, I wasn't there to confirm this in person, but I heard it from somebody who was. And so, the interesting thing to think about is, why is paleo such a big thing right now, especially for CrossFit athletes, and yet the fittest of them all who make it to the games don't even eat the paleo diet? Well, we're going to share with you more of the science and data and research behind that reason, because the paleo diet is not good for the human body for a number of reasons, especially if you want to perform at your highest level, right?
So true. And one of the things that paleo does is it takes away a source of fuel that can sustain you for longer periods of time. That source of fuel would be complex carbohydrates.
Right.
Saying not to take it, and yet the body utilizes that as fuel to restore glycogen levels and be able to perform at a high level through intensity.
Exactly. So if you don't know, paleo diet, there's different critics and people more strict and people less strict. But basically, they recommend roughly 30-35% of your food through, fruits and vegetables, which I agree with. They say more simplified, just fresh from the earth. Absolutely. I think that's a wonderful thing to have in your diet. So that's really great. The other two pieces that, is what's going to limit you as an athlete are the 30-35% protein, which they're recommending comes from animal protein, and roughly about the same 30-35% from fats. And a lot of that they're recommending also from either animal fats and or nuts, seeds, avocados, things like that. So where is this diet limiting you from achieving higher levels of energy, of burst, that bursting energy, that really high intensity sustained over 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 12 minutes, 20 minutes, over months or years of time? The biggest part that's limiting you is on the animal protein and the fats. That's 60+% of your diet they're recommending on animal protein and fats. That's a massive amount of your diet that is not including complex carbohydrates, which is your jet fuel for high sustained energy, right?
Yeah, so very true. One thing that I started implementing, I did this even in the last couple weeks, was I even boosted up my complex carbohydrates. I started meal prepping quinoa, and I make a big pot of quinoa. I add in broccoli, and then I'll even bake 6 sweet potatoes, and then I have those meals set aside just each day. And wow, what an improvement even in my energy alone. But doing CrossFit, I have this one meal that just has a complex carbohydrate load to it that my body just utilizes as fuel through the workout. So even from personal experience, I'm seeing huge results just with implementing that.
Right. I did 100% raw vegan diet for a year. Basically, didn't cook anything. It was 100% vegan, 100% raw, right, for an entire year. And so somebody who's on that kind of diet, there are some athletes who are like high fruit, like the 80-20 diet, they're eating a lot of carbohydrates, but simple carbohydrates and mostly fruit, or like a raw vegan diet where, again, you're not really getting a lot of those cooked carbohydrates. We're not getting a lot of the complex carbohydrates unless you're doing some really creative things like we were doing with the dehydrator and that kind of stuff. But what happens on that kind of diet, which is actually incredibly healthy for you, is that you have to eat these things constantly.
Yeah.
You got to be eating, fruit all day long, smoothies all day long, a lot of vegetables all day long. Why? Because those simple carbohydrates, those simple sugars break down really quickly and give you, short bursts of fuel quickly.
Yeah.
For sustained energy over long periods of time, if you're working out 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day or more, which is what a lot of athletes are having to do to get to the next level, simple sugars aren't going to get you there. They will help you in the moment, and they're important and a big part of our diet, but that sustained energy, that energy that's going to help you sustain long term, the paleo diet's not going to do it for you. It's too much fat, too much animal protein. Those things don't synthesize in the body very well. They don't convert into sustained energy for you. They cause your body to have to utilize massive amounts of energy to process them and break them down. So you're wasting a lot of that energy, and then you're not building up your glycogen stores, which is what you need for that intense energy when the workout comes. So you see people get on the paleo diet, and they do good for a year, maybe 2 years, and then they fall off. They fall off from the face of the earth in athletics, and this is the reason why. This is the reason why the top CrossFit athletes don't do the paleo diet. And one kind of final story I'll share with you. I was watching a video from Katrin David's daughter, crowned the fittest woman on earth. She was deathly afraid of carbohydrates. Brown rice, beans, quinoa, these kinds of things, right? She thought they'd make her fat. She had this conditioning from wrong information that you shouldn't eat these carbohydrates. Guess what? She wasn't the fittest person on the earth then. She got nutritional counseling. Her coach hooked her up with the right type of information. She changed her diet, started eating a lot more healthy complex carbohydrates, and guess what? The next year, crowned fittest woman on earth. And she attributes a big part of her energy and success and all of that to her changed diet. So again, don't listen to us. Follow what the fittest people on the earth are doing, and then follow them if they can sustain that, right?
Yeah.
If they can sustain it long term, because the diet plays such an important role in your overall energy and health. It's so important.
Oh, it's so true. It is so very important. And if you're feeling like you do need some more protein, just like what you said, the rice and bean combination, you're getting all of your essential and non-essential amino acids just within that. You can get a plant-based formula protein powder to be able to take as a recovery shake right after. What I do with my morning smoothies is I add in hemp protein powder. And what this is doing is the plant-based protein is allowing the body to be able to utilize it, because it sees it as a source of fuel. It knows exactly what to do with it. So if you feel like you are someone who's, okay, well, then how do I get enough protein, because that's such a huge concept today, then just add in a protein shake, add in some more broccoli into your diet, add in hemp protein powder. Main thing is try to get away from those high fats from animal protein. Try to get away from the animal protein in general. Start transitioning over to more complex carbohydrates, especially if you're doing intense workouts like CrossFit, and you will see an improvement. You will see your energy levels rise, and that in and of itself is confirmation. Just as you said, don't listen to us. Try it, experiment with it, and see how your energy levels are.
And make sure you are getting that 30 to 40% of your diet fresh fruits and vegetables too, because that's key. That's where you're going to get a lot of your minerals, your vitamins, your phytonutrients. That is so important. Don't think we're discrediting that at all. Really make sure you're implementing that into your diet. But I've been on a 100% plant-based diet for somewhere around 7 years now. I haven't had animal protein in my system for like 7 years, and guess what? I have more energy and feel healthier now than I ever have been in my entire life. I don't even think about protein, and without trying to get protein from a plant-based diet, I get over 60 to 70 grams of protein a day. Most people have protein excess. They, almost nobody that's ever been tested by a medical doctor, if you look at the studies, has ever shown up as protein deficiency. So the protein myth, we're busting it right here, right now. You do research on protein. Nobody has a problem with protein, other than most people have protein excess, not deficiency. So that's not an issue here. So again, try it, implement it. Let us know what you think. Feel free to leave your thoughts and comments below. If you got some good information from this, give this video a thumbs up and share it. And if you're not subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate you. See you in the next video.